Welcome to another action-packed edition of Robot Wars Grand Champions. So far, we've seen 9 heats. Today's the 10th out of 16. So who's it gonna be, the baddest bot in the land for today to make it through to the semis? You better stick around and find out.
They all claim to be the best, but only one can wear the crown of Robot Wars Grand Champion. The rest will toss their hopes on the dunghill of destruction. I'm your host, Joni. Which of tonight's fighting robots will be tough enough to compete in the Sweet 16? Let's go down to the arena and get to it.
All right, Joni, last time on Robot Wars, you would have seen Eric get completely demoralized in the final by Splinter. There it is, Splinter joins the other 8 metallic masticators in the semifinals. Now here's how it breaks down today for Heat J. We're gonna see Stinger, Bulldog Breed 2, and Spikasaurus. But first up, bigger brother, Hammer and Tong, and Clodhopper. Only one of these guys is gonna make it through to the semifinal list. Who's it gonna be?
From Bideford in Devon, Clodhopper.
Clodhopper, a rotund 306 pounds. Those guys are double any other robot as long as they don't have wheels on them. If they walk, they can get away with twice the weight.
Hello, I'm Andrew, and this is my son, Joshua. This is Nick, and this is our robot, Clodhopper. As you can see, this robot has no wheels, because it's a walking robot. He uses these spikes to get grip and absorb impacts on the ground. His main weapons are these big spikes, which hopefully will cause some damage.
From Brighton, and seated number 14, Bigger Brother.
Bigger Brother, in at 170 pounds, has a steel shell powered by 2 batteries and got a couple of monster truck window wiper motors on it.
Hello, I'm Joe Watt. This is Ian Watt. And our robot's called Bigger Brother. Last year we got far and very far. This time we're going to knock Chaos 2 out. We've got 2 weapons. These 2 spikes over here, I've been checking them with my thumb, and this and flip over here. We've got to put this on so if they're very low down, that we can flip them up easily.
From Market Rayton in Lincolnshire, Hammer and Tong.
Hammer and Tong looks fierce at 176 pounds, 6-wheel drive, and that spike looks like it could cause some real trouble.
Hello, this is Team Hammer and Tong. I'm Stuart Smith, team captain. This is my son Oliver, the driver, and Paul Schmidt, our chief technician. Oliver's going to tell us a little bit about the weapon, I think.
The weapon can attack from the top, but when it's lowered, the spike will retract and it can be used as a flipper.
It's powered by 2 one-horse strimmer engines with belt drive, forward reverse skid steering on all 6 wheels.
And that's Hammer and Tong.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Clodhopper with Andrew and Joshua Hughes and Nicholas Clement. And Hammer and Tong with Stuart and Oliver Smith and Paul Schmidt. And last but not least, Bigger Brother with a father and son team of Joseph and Ian Watts.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
And here we go for the first eliminator of Heat J, where 2 robots can go through and 1 won't. And immediately, Bigger Brother gets right under with that flipper to Clodhopper and just lets him know he's got a little more power than they expected. Now it's Clodhopper and Hammer and Tong up against each other, and Bigger Brother comes in from the side. Well, Hammer and Tong has got quite a bit of clearance with that lifting arm. Let's see if they can put it to use. Bigger Brother is in there with that lifting arm, consistently giving Clodhopper some real pain. And Bigger Brother goes in again and puts Clodhopper up on its back. I don't know if it's got any kind of self-righting mechanism here, so the chances are this is like a 300-pound cockroach stuck on its back as Big Brother goes for Hammer and Tong now, trying to create a little stress in the Hammer and Tong camp, while bigger brother, the smallest bot out there, is making the biggest noise and creating the biggest amount of trouble for both of these bots. I'll tell you, he's already put out Clodhopper. And it doesn't matter what he does to Hammer and Tong right now, because only 2 of these guys will go through to the next round. And those 2 will be bigger brother and Hammer and Tong, because it looks as if Clodhopper has been immobilized for more than 30 seconds. As the house bots move in and let Clodhopper know who's boss, there's Dead Metal with that circular saw, dragging him up over the flames. Clodhopper, the walker, is not walking too much right now. Well, if they had a little hindsight behind this, they might have actually put a righting arm on that bot, and they wouldn't have the trouble they're having now, because they're about ready to get the flipped into the weight of that bot just barely make the flipper work at all as Dead Metal comes back in with that saw. And there it is. Bigger brother decimates the opposition. Next up, Stinger, Bulldog Breed 2, and Spikasaurus. You won't want to miss this. Welcome back to Robot Wars Grand Champion, where we've seen bigger brother take out Clodhopper, who definitely saw better days. And now the second of our eliminators, Stinger, up against Bulldog Breed 2 and Spikasaurus.
From Warsaw, Bulldog Breed 2.
Bulldog Breed 2, in at 176 pounds, has got an awesome flipper and a rear spike with a plexiglass shell.
Hi, this is Bulldog Breed 2. I'm Tony Summerfield, team captain. Robert Summerfield, weapons. Tony Bond, driver. This is a CO2-powered robot, powered by 3 CO2-powered cylinders, giving an enormous lift. Twin wheelchair motors, driven from the back. To keep the theme of the dog has got a tail, spiky tail. And all the controls, as you can see, are visible through the polycarbonate cover.
From Manchester, Spikasaurus.
Spikasaurus, in at 176 pounds, can go up to 17 miles an hour. He's got spikes in the front of him made out of high tensile steel. And check out the roll gauge.
Hi, this is Team Spikasaurus. Lee, myself, Stuart, Andrea. Our robot is built for power and speed. There's nothing more to it. We've got 12 stone of awesome power with 18-inch spikes on the front. The roll bars on the top so that we can roll back over if anything happens to us. And we're here to have a good time.
From Lincoln, seed number 30, Stinger.
Stinger looks like it's got a Stinger missile mounted on the front, but no, it's just an axe. At 170 pounds, these guys got 4 motorcycle tires on it, and it looks like it could do some damage.
Hello, this is the Stinger team. On my left, I've got Carl Skinner with the software. On my right, Tim Mann with the electronics, and I'm Kevin Scott, the team captain. All the workings are inside these domed wheels here, which drive round, and when we stop, we lift the tail.
Do you think that's big enough to get Kill a Lot?
Roboteers, stand by.
Better not be worried about Kill a Lot. You better get through the round first. So there's Bulldog Breed 2 with Tony and Robert Summerfield and Tony Bond. And Spikasaurus with Stuart Pearson, Andrea Whittle, and Lee Ainscoe. And Stinger with Carl Skinner, Kevin Scott, and Tim Mann.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
So like the round before, only 2 of these guys are going to be able to make it through. And Bulldog Breed tests Spikasaurus' roll gauge. Look at the speed of Spikasaurus. Wow, and with spikes in the front, they just go right through Stinger's tires. Wow, just skewered him. He's been impaled momentarily, but Bulldog gets in and tries to dish out a little dirt as well. Spikasaurus has just got so much power. He's going to dominate this if they can't figure out how to put him away. Bulldog's just flapping with that flipper. And a real tussle between Stinger and Bulldog. Look at that axe go straight up, and he was going after one of the house spots as Bulldog flips up Spikasaurus. Spikasaurus has got that cage to bring him back down if he needs it, but look at the spinning zero turning circle that Stinger's got. As Bulldog flipping around Spikasaurus, But no avail. He's going to come back down on his wheels every time. This is going to be an amazing result. Who's going to get through? They're all dishing it out so well. If it has to go down to a judge's decision, they'll be judged on damage, control, style, and aggression. Well, there's been plenty of that from each one of these bots, so it's going to be a tough decision. All of these bots have been dominating their own particular weaponry, different from each other. As Spikasaurus goes after Stinger and hits the wall, but Shunt has a little piece of Spikasaurus now. And Bulldog's getting in on the action. Well, they better get out of that corner patrol zone if they know what's good for it. Shunt and Bulldog right having a head-to-head tussle. And Stinger comes in with that axe, just trying to lay some insult to injury. Shunt has got Bulldog trapped in the corner patrol zone. Stinger's trying to help somebody out, but we're not sure who. And Spikasaurus gets flipped again. Wow, this could be all over for them as the 10-second count goes down, but now they got righted again. Wow, amazing. I'd hate to be a judge on this decision. So there it is on a really tough decision that went down to the wire. Spikasaurus is history, which means Bulldog and Stinger go through.
We've got 4 robots left, but only one can walk away a winner. Who will make it out? More demolition, more destruction, more to come right after this.
Welcome back to Robot Wars. So far, we saw the Walker of Cloudhopper get immobilized. And then Spikasaurus rolled over and played dead, which leaves us with 4 bots fighting for 1 place in the semifinals. So there it is, Stinger up against Hammer and Tong, but first up, Bigger Brother and Bulldog Breed 2.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there's Bulldog Breed 2 with that massive flipping arm. Tony Bond at the controls. And there's Bigger Brother with Joe Watts and Ian Watts.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Bigger Brother had an awesome flipping arm, and so did Bulldog. So let's see who can flip who here. Oh, immediately Bulldog gets right under Bigger Brother. I don't know if they've got enough self-righting mechanism in there to get them back on their wheels with a little smoke coming out as well. Oh, this could have been the shortest battle in today's heat. Poor Joe at 7.5 years old. He's not loving life. Well, I think they must have got the CO2 cartridge in there because they would have normally been able to flip himself back over with that self-righting mechanism. Something went very wrong there. And Kill-A-Lot is going to make him suffer even more. There's the Kill-A-Lot cam dragging the dull, lifeless body of Bigger Brother over the flames. And now all the housebots are lining up for a taste of some brother action. Oh, it's sad here. Poor little Joe. Watching his butt get decimated by the housebots. Well, this could be a quick early burial as the pit goes open. And Sergeant Bash is dragging Bigger Brother back for an inevitable burial. And there it is. No judge's decision needed here. The Bigger Brother goes to Flip City. Bulldog Breed 2 goes to meet the winner of Hammer and Tong and Stinger up next.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there is Hammer and Tong with Oliver Smith playing with his antenna. And there's Stinger with Kevin Scott at the controls.
3, 2, 1.
Six-wheel drive, Hammer and Tong did pretty well in the last round. Stinger's off to a real slow start, but there he goes to start the spin. Well, they can bury that axe into the best of bots, and they have in the past. Meanwhile, Hammer and Tong with that lifting arm has got quite a bit of clearance. They can actually put Stinger out of its misery. Stinger's not having any of it. Stinger is just going to bury that axe until something breaks. Hammer and Tong's got the arm up, but they don't seem to be having very much forward motion with those 6 wheels. They've got plenty of power in there. Something must be wrong. And Matilda comes to tap Hammer and Tong just to make sure. A Stinger's flipping all over. Well, I think it's an obvious choice for this round. If they can't get it together, Hammer and Tong are going to get demolished by the housebots. And look at the power of that crunching arm on Sir Kill-A-Lot. Picking up Hammer and Tong like it's a piece of paper and swinging him around. Well, that's the most motion we've had from him in a whole round. Oh, Kill-A-Lot has just made him suffer. Oh, that's a major malfunction inside Hammer and Tong. It's a good thing it's got that plexiglass shell because we can see it frying right before our eyes. As Sergeant Bash, they're all coming in now. The housebots are gonna, oh, it's crunching him up. The poor guys are gonna have to come up with another design after this. The housebots are just shredding him as they lift him up on the flipper, and poor Hammer and Tong goes flying. Not a lot of airtime, but it wasn't needed because those guys were toast. There it is. Hammer and Tong took a major hammering from Stinger, which means Stinger goes through to the final of Heat J.
Will Bulldog gnaw his way to the finals, or will the Stinger make his point? Stick around and find out next.
Welcome back to Robot Wars Grand Champions. Well, we're down to our final 2 bots in Heat J, and they are Stinger and Bulldog Breed 2. Well, Stinger had spun its way and axed its way to victory by completely taking out Spikasaurus and Hammer and Tong. And then Bulldog Breed 2 made real quick work of Bigger Brother, who got a hole-in-one. So there it is, the baddest 2 bots in Heat J going head-to-head. Bulldog Breed 2 up against Stinger.
Roboteers, stand by.
And there is Stinger. The Stinger boys who know they got their work cut out for them, and there's Bulldog Breed 2. And the Bulldog boys talking over some strategy.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go for the final of Heat J. Now the winner of this one's gonna go through to the illustrious semifinal list as Stinger does a bit of spinning around through the flames. There's no way that Bulldog is gonna be able to upset Stinger by flipping him, and that's the big weapon on Bulldog, so we'll see how he gets away with it. He might be able to get him out of the arena if he's lucky. Well, there's a good start anyway. Bulldog needs to be very aggressive here, because look at that awesome axe on Stinger. Once that thing gets spinning, he buries into any bot. It's big trouble. We've seen what he can do already. And Bulldog looks as if his flipping arm is stuck open. Well, that's not going to help too much. There's a great possibility that Stinger's mighty axe has come down onto the mechanism of Bulldog and completely frozen that flipper straight up and open. Definitely some CO2 leakage coming out of Bulldog, and quite possibly some of the motors are frying as well, because it looks a lot like smoke. Stinger awesomely just decimated Bulldog in this round as Dead Metal comes in with that saw, and he's making Bulldog feel it. Shunt behind with that diamond edge axe. Matilda's getting in on it. Everybody wants some piece of Bulldog. Oh, this poor dog. And by the way, how can a Bulldog have a tail on it? Well, it wasn't doing much good for him anyway, as Bulldog gets sliced up into little Bulldog bits. And Kill-A-Lot comes in with the pincers to help Bulldog do a little lap of disaster. Oh, that only Kill-A-Lot can dish it out. Well, there it is. Bulldog upside down, toe up from the flow up. He's got nowhere to go except back to the drawing board, or possibly a slight trip through the air before this puppy's all over. And look at the air time from that. Ah, poor Bulldog. Look at that. Beautiful. If he had anything left, he would have gone back on those wheels. But of course, it was too late. Let's take a little look back at this battle. Well, Bulldog had the flipper going in the beginning, but he just got ravaged by Stinger's axe. Completely decimated. The CO2 was punctured, the motors were burned out, and Kill-A-Lot put icing on the cake. There it is. Stinger joins the illustrious other 9 in the semifinal list.
Stinger takes a bite out of Bulldog Breed and sends him to the pound with his tail between his legs. I'm your host, Joni. Be here next time when 6 more robots try to annihilate the competition and add their name to the list of the semifinalists. It's only on Robot Wars Grand Champion.
All right, Joni, next time on Robot Wars Grand Champions, we're going to see Weldor, Something, and Little Fly. And joining them will be Evil Weevil, Tiberius, and Mousetrap.